Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you don't have to share your screen there if you don't want.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gambling Savant. Today, we have a legendary guest, a guest who has been on the stream a couple times in the past. We all know him as CODEWARD. Welcome, CODEWARD. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, bud?
Doing great. Happy to have you back on here. Happy to have the Gambling Savant channel back up and running for the calendar year of 2022. Took a little hiatus there around the holidays and kind of let the crypto market, weather the storm a little bit per se, and get out of the rough waters and kind of see what's going on for the new year and the first and second quarter of this year, and see if we can get back in action with some positive news and activity in the crypto market.
Absolutely.
So what are your thoughts about the last several weeks of the rough conditions, call it?
Fair enough. Well, I try not to pay too much attention to the market. It's going to have its ups and downs. It's a volatile market, as we all know.
Sure.
So for the most part, I just kind of watch it happen, pay attention to the markets, but not get too involved, and just kind of keep building. So
yeah, that's fair. I hear you. I tried to kind of do the same, and not YouTubing during that time frame kind of allowed me to take a step back mentally and not be so engaged with it. Once when you're putting out content, your focus is on project productivity and kind of scouring the market just in general to see what might happen, what you're going to predict in your mind with any given project or just the market in general, and looking at news updates. And so you have to be engrossed. You have to naturally take that approach to sort through what's what. And it's like, you kind of get caught up in the sense that, well, now I'm looking at the market every day, right? And I want to give out accurate information. I want to be as detailed and realistic as possible for viewers. And with the market conditions that we've experienced, it's difficult to really make sense of it. And also, what are you really going to tell everybody? Buy. I mean, in theory, that sounds great and it's encouraging, but I didn't want to lead anybody down the wrong trail with any project, much less CasinoCoin, right?
Oh, that's exactly it. Like, it's all uncertain, right? And so we could turn around and look at charts and try to play it, or well, not play it, but try to understand it as best we can. And looking at the last few weeks, the last couple weeks there, it looks like the market, from what I'm seeing, I would assume that the bottom is in, and it's just kind of trading sideways, and we're just getting ready to roll back up. But there's no way to say that for certain, and I don't want to put, I've always said, I'm not about price predictions or anything like that. I don't want to see anybody bet house and home and then end up losing the farm on it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's where I kind of stood too. I'm like, I'm not big on price predictions. Does price come up? Yeah, you have to touch on it here and there just to kind of paint the whole picture and tell the whole story about any project. And for me, it's always been CasinoCoin primarily. So I do touch on the current price. I'll touch on some trends that we've seen in the past, and every once in a while, what's likely to happen. But as far as predicting price and saying, by late summer or early fall of this calendar year, we're going to be at such and such figure, I just don't see the relevance of that. If the project's going to be successful in the long run, especially with a utility token, you're likely going to see the price or the trading price of the token appreciate if you want it to or not. So there's ebbs and flows within progression in times of appreciation too. We can see a ascending channel with the graph and still experience days or weeks of a little downtime. So it's really almost silly to predict unless you had monies allocated towards one project and you had one opportunity to buy. Then I would want to know, hey, if I've got one chance to buy into a certain project, of course, tell me what you know. Let me hear what you have to say. But when we have the free will to cost average and to enter at different rates and at different dollar amounts, if you believe in the project and they're successful at any level, you're going to be a winner in the long run, right?
Oh yeah, well, that's exactly it.
You know, so hitting the chat up a little bit. Who do we got here? We've got Pay Me an XRP. What's up, man? Ted the Megalodon. We've got Matt Dog 51, Michael Otto. Hey, familiar names out there. So hey, let's welcome CODEWARD once again. You all know him. We're gonna run through. Of course, we're gonna touch on the general crypto market and CasinoCoin and see what the future looks like with a lot of progression. And the team is hard at work. We know that for sure, based upon the last several tweets from the team. Looks like they're putting together some content, some exciting content. We've got lots of potential news coming through here any week, any month as well. So today's primary focus is xrplmerch.com. This is CODEWARD's project. It's his company. It is his vision. I think at the moment, I'm speaking for CODEWARD, but I think it's kind of a side project that will develop and will continue to flourish. And, you know, we'll see what happens in the next several months, several quarters of where this thing actually takes off to. He's got lots of apparel and product for sale, all XRPL tokens, issued tokens, and a great variety of product. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, yeah, it's an XRPL based just side project for me because like I'm a software developer. I have my 9 to 5, got family. I do YouTube videos and I'm on Twitter, as you all see, Discord mod. Like there's a lot that I take on. So XRPL merch, yeah, it's more of just a kind of like a side hustle for lack of better wording. So yeah, I do keep it focused around XRPL because that's where all my focus is, even on my YouTube channel. All my how-to videos and like videos that I try to help with are all based around the XRPL there.
That's awesome. And that's, you know, being an XRP enthusiast, that was my first love in the crypto world. And then I gravitated immediately towards CSC once I knew the project was coming back to life, the rebirth aspect of the token with Daniel taking the reins on that. I immediately jumped all over it and have been an enthusiast and a supporter of the project ever since, even more so than XRP, actually. I love the community. I love its use case. I love the fact that it's running on the XRPL. There's so many aspects to it. Almost like a cousin or a brother of XRP in many ways, when you get down to the nitty gritty of what it's actually trying to handle and the way it moves money in that, right? Of course. But it's just a match made in heaven. XRP, CasinoCoin, we've got the XRPL issued tokens, lots of exciting projects that are either developed onto the XRPL or are in process of. CODEWARD, you would know more about that than me. But what I'm seeing is very, very, very solid foundation for this ledger for the future of the XRPL and what it was set out to accomplish, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of projects getting launched on the XRPL, and it's a perfect environment for it. Low cost fees. It's quick as like what, 3-5 second settlement time, and that's settlement, not just payments, as we all know. And the crazy thing is, it's expanding. We're looking at even expansion into NFTs on the XRPL, like with the XLS20 migration when that, or not migration, but amendment when that happens. So yeah, like that's the thing is with what I was mentioning with XRPL merch, I try to keep it with the XRPL tokens, as we see here. Like we have Chorus X, Equilibrium Games, Nerian, MG Social, CasinoCoin, and of course XRP. So like, yeah, I think the future is extremely bright for the XRP ledger because the benefits far outweigh anything else. Like even looking at Ethereum, I see constantly all over Twitter, like I'm not trying to bash here, but we all know the fees are a little bit ridiculous right now.
Yeah, and we're going to touch on some chat questions here in a moment, but to elaborate on that, CODEWARD, when you take you mentioned Ethereum, you take the Ethereum network and you see ETH 2.0 and all these revisions and a constant work that has to be put into these, call them dinosaur networks or ledgers, however you want to phrase it. Let's getting to the point. In the future, will the XRPL have to continuously make updates and modifications? I mean, at some level, likely, but don't they kind of have it figured out compared to the rest of the field?
Well, that's the thing with technology is it's always building, it's always expanding. There's always new things coming down the line, whether infrastructure upgrades, whether security patches, things like that. You always figure that even when it comes to security, it's always cat and mouse game. You've got bad actors that basically they'll find an exploit, it gets patched. Exploit, patch, exploit, patch, and just it's a never-ending cycle. That's how technology works.
Mm-hmm.
As far back as even phone systems and the little dialer system, like I know rotary phones. At one point, parents would put a lock on the dialer so you couldn't spin the dial. Well,
Sure.
bypass that, you tap the little thingy. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you could bypass the dialer lock. It's always a cat and mouse game. So that's from the security aspect. And then you look at it from the technological aspect, and there's always advancements coming. And we've seen that already with the XRP ledger with just the way that the ledger is built and grown, and the inclusion of new technologies that are coming down the pipeline. Like, fees were starting to get a bit pricey for the XRP ledger. We had a rollback on the cost of the reserve cost and the token reserves and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have the XLS 20, as I mentioned, going to be amended in the future. So as things are developed and new things come about, we're always going to see new developments. So it's not going to be stale. Yes, the main architectural infrastructure will be there. There will still be improvements on it. But yes, right. More or less, once you have the boat built, you got to do some maintenance to get the barnacles off or fix some holes or whatever the case.
Sure.
But yeah.
But we have a leg up at the moment, and we don't have to foresee an XRPL 2.0 anytime soon, I wouldn't think.
No, I would say definitely not, because even with the way that the network's built, we're not susceptible to a 51% attack. Even everyone complains about Ripple's escrow and the amount that they hold, that they hold more than 50% of the supply with the escrow in their own holdings. Well, okay, that doesn't affect the network in any way. It's all based around the validators.
Good point.
And
what I love about these streams, real quick, CODEWARD, is we don't rehearse anything. CODEWARD and I had a slight conversation as to what we were going to touch on, of course, just to be somewhat within the realm of a certain topic. But I'm learning a whole lot in this type of environment. CODEWARD and I are conversing just at random right now. So all the information is new to me. I think I like to engage that way. I think it's natural, it's organic, and the conversation really goes in directions as opposed to just hitting bullet point after bullet point and moving on as if it's a rehearsal type thing. And I like this. This is genuine, and I think the audience will take a lot from this type of engagement, because we're going to go down trails and paths that we might not have otherwise, right?
Yeah.
So exactly. Thank you for your information. This is awesome.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. The only thing that does make it a challenge with these sort of streams is answering comments in the stream there. So
I agree with you.
I'll take a moment and address some of those.
Yeah, and this is one I wanted to touch on. It's the first question, but it's also an awesome one because I have my own questions about this. Matt Dog 51 says, is CSC going to have a play in the metaverse? Well, I think the answer is simply yes. We are partnered with a metaverse oriented company. They are in their own startup as well. So we have two startup companies trying to reach a particular goal or vision collectively. I think that's safe to say. Where it goes, how is CSC used exactly? I don't have the information. I have my own thoughts. CODEWARD, do you have any concrete type content that you can give us related to that?
Yeah, absolutely. There was actually a blog discussion about it a while back there via casinocoin.medium.com. I'll just pop that up in the chat here.
Yeah.
You'll have to go through and find the exact article there, but basically it was a partnership with Artifacts.
Right.
And that's run by XRP community member there, Ponder John. I'm not sure if anybody in the chat recognizes the name, but he's been around the XRP community for quite a while and has always been contributing. So if he's in the stream, like, shout out to Ponder John, like, he's a valuable contribution to the ecosystem. And yeah, he's looking to build a bit in the metaverse there. And definitely from the discussions there, CasinoCoin is a partnership there. So hopefully we will be looking at being able to use CasinoCoin in the metaverse as asked there.
So using CasinoCoin in the metaverse versus using CasinoCoin in an online casino or even a brick and mortar, do the fundamentals change at all? Or is it all exactly within a guardrail of what it can or can't accomplish, regardless as the platform to the platform? You know what I mean? Will CasinoCoin operate any differently because it's tied in with the metaverse?
That's a hard one to answer. Like, I don't have like too much knowledge on it aside what's available in the article. Actually, I just found the article and I linked it there.
Okay.
That being said, basically what's in the article is the information that I have.
Right.
Now, through speculating a bit, we can basically determine that it'll happen one of two ways. Either A, it works the way like Rock and Roll Casino works, where you deposit your casino coin, you play with in-house currency to mitigate like volatility and so forth. And then when you withdraw back to casino coin, back to your wallet. Alternately, the other option is, as many people love to see or want to see, is that you just play with casino coin directly. You know, you hop into the metaverse, you have the CSC in your wallet, you play with the CSC in the slots or a live dealer, or however you want to put it, and you'll just be able to gamble with your CSC directly.
Yeah.
The only issue that runs with that is the potential of volatility in the market. However, with liquidity and enough volume and liquidity in the market, that kind of mitigates some of the volatility. But as we see, even with some of the larger cap coins like Bitcoin, XRP, and so forth, they are still subject to volatility. So,
right. Yeah, very good point. So yeah, we're going to have to see, I guess, how that partnership plays out, how the individual running that project, what lengths they go to, and what was the individual's name again?
Ponder John. So,
Ponder John. So, how far is he willing to take it, right? How advanced does he want the project to go to really realize the benefits of the technology that CasinoCoin offers for his platform in the metaverse? So yeah, interesting topic. I hope we find out more about that here in the next several months or so, and at least hear an update on the partnership,
Yeah, I agree completely. And like, that's the other thing is, you asked, like, the other thing that we have to keep in mind is that just because it's a metaverse doesn't mean that it's not subject to laws and regulations. Like, there are still going to be laws and regulations that need to be adhered to from a local standpoint, which is why we see with the CSC lobby that some folks in the US aren't able to access the application or access the casinos without like tapping into a VPN. However, not to get off topic, but that has its own potential risks. But
yeah, that's a great point, because Daniel, having worked in that industry for such a long time, trying to take casinos from an unregulated state to regulation. He knows all the loopholes, all the criteria to hit that. It'd be silly for him to focus and have a token that's geared towards being in full compliance with rules and regulations, and then have this, gray area where he is going to operate not illegally, but in a different fashion, just because it's labeled metaverse, right? So I think that's an excellent point that you make. And it seems to me that the team will make no exceptions ever as far as that's concerned. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I feel. That's the vibe that Daniel's giving off. I think that makes me more confident as an investor, as an enthusiast, to be honest, that he has strict guidelines to how he's going to operate.
Absolutely. When it comes to compliance and regulations, you'll have those that try to butt heads or push against, and those are the ones that are going to end up facing the most friction. Projects that are working with the regulators, that are adhering to compliance, whether KYC, AML, counterterrorism, like all that stuff, like if they're adhering to the principles that they're bound to, they're more than likely going to end up having an easier time than somebody who's like, no, like, I don't care, I'm going to do what I want. Well,
yeah, and we're already dealing with the Wild West aspect of crypto, right? So there's already this crypto's portrayed in a certain way to some people. I mean, to people who know the technology and believe in the technology and understand it through and through, it's a little different. But to most individuals, it's the Wild West. It's speculative. It's a risky investment. It's this, that, the other. It doesn't have a bad rap or a bad name necessarily, but people aren't going out of their way just yet to invest a larger percentage of their net worth or their retirement or any allocated monies to it yet. I hear even very wealthy people that you hear about getting involved in crypto, they're investing, 5% of their net worth, right? Not 50%, 5%. So that's fair. That might be the conservative play, which it is. It's risk management. That's what money actually is all about, is risk management and growth. And so, compounding and appreciation. So I understand it all, but we are still in a period of time where we're looking at people who have been successful in other areas of life, and they're only willing to risk 5% of their net worth. So we have to remember, the more confidence that we give individuals like that, your everyday investor, and then your more elite, institutional monies and everything like that, the more confidence that we can give the space, the higher those percentages go. And we know there's many trillions of dollars that are laying around out there across the globe that are at some point going to be pumped into the crypto market. I mean, I think that's a very general statement, but I think it's accurate.
I agree completely, because we've even just seen news over the last couple of days with an interview from the CEO of Uber saying that they are looking to accept crypto as payment for their platform, like Uber and probably Uber Eats as well. And they'll be accepting crypto as well. They're just looking for a greener solution, which.
Yes, XRP, XRPL, however you want to phrase that. Yeah, we've got to figure it out. And that's exactly
it, because sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but a lot of people don't actually realize about the XRP ledger is, if you go into the XRPL docs, there's actually a section in there where it covers carbon credits and carbon neutrality, where you can actually tax transactions on the XRPL, and that gets put towards offsetting the carbon footprint.
Wow. See, this is the type of, maybe in the near future, we'll have to go down a more detailed XRPL specific conversation and put it out to the people, or maybe you'll do that on your channel. But I think the information that you have digested and can put out to the people is invaluable, because like I said, I'm learning every time we talk. I learn something, and it really is important. It's not important because it's XRPL as a project. I'm not invested in the XRPL, but I am by default because I believe in the ledger, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want to really have a full understanding of how things work. That's for me. Some people don't care. They just like CasinoCoin. They like XRP. That's great. That's fine and dandy. But for a lot of us who are more on the technical side, all these bits of information lead to a more solidified answer as to why we believe in these projects, why we believe in this technology. And
So
investor confidence is massive.
yeah. So here's a link for it here, xrpl.org /carbon-calculator.html. That just gives a brief kind of descriptor of it. But if you go into the documentation of things, it gets into it further where you can basically take in addition to the XRPL transaction fee, as a operator or business or whatnot, I can add on an additional fee, so to speak, to basically charge for the carbon offset. So as that way, the operation of the validators and so forth, the emissions or whatever, that it's credited and paid for that carbon offset, so that it becomes
Excellent.
a net neutral asset.
That's amazing. And it's great to be able to see it firsthand like that with the link you provided.
Yeah.
And have a fuller understanding of what's actually happening, because it's going to happen regardless, but to understand it and know what's happening, that's where we can continuously as a group, as the XRP community, XRPL community, expand that knowledge to other individuals. A lot of people would invest to these projects simply because of that.
Yep.
They pick one out of a hat. I don't care because it's on the XRPL. I like the XRPL. I like what they're doing. I like the direction. I like these features. And that's a feature, in my opinion. That's important. And most people probably don't know that. I would have to imagine.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, that's exactly it. Unless you're, of the curious type and pouring into the documentation and so forth, or a developer, it's not something that you're thinking about looking into. It's not like, say my son decides, oh, hey, I'm interested in XRP. The majority of people, like, not trying to speak ill or anything, like even myself, like I'm interested in as well. But a lot of folks, the majority of folks, are more interested in price movement.
That's right. And when you think of XRP right now, you think of the SEC and Gary Gensler.
Yeah, exactly. And that brings me to a couple comments here in regards to prices and so forth. Like, Michael mentions here, as soon as SEC gives XRP the green light, CasinoCoin goes 80 cents. Now, here's the thing, Mike. I do want to mention, like, XRP and CSC, yes, they work on the same ledger, but they are independent projects. One is not reliant on the other. There is, to a degree, there is a correlation being on the same network. However, what XRP does not affect CSC, and what the CSC team does doesn't affect XRP. They are individual assets, right? So there may be, to a degree, a bit of an increase in the fact that people are realizing, okay, XRP has been given the green light, and then there may be a false association that all other assets on the XRPL are greenlit as well. No, because each project is their own project.
Another excellent point.
I can turn around, I can launch a coin on the XRPL, file an ICO or ICO, and do everything against the books. I'm going to get run through the ringer for that. XRP is not going to save me.
And it's also safe to say that CasinoCoin could be wildly more successful or profitable than the native token XRP.
It is
potential. It can go both ways.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways. That just another way of thinking about the independence that CODEWARD's referencing to. And I agree 100% with what you're saying. They are independent of each other. They do offer a certain core value or dynamic in large part because they're running on a specific ledger. But outside of that, they are unique in every aspect of the sense.
Well, exactly.
Outside of that,
there are different use case, different industries, different regulations and rules. They're completely different. Like, they are both assets that run on the XRPL. The biggest correlation is that CSC uses XRP as gas to make those transactions happen. But in the long run, they're two different teams, two different projects tackling two different use cases. Even the utility is completely separate. And yeah, like if, say, the CSC team decided to do something that, you know, unscrupulous, for lack of better wording, you know, that's going to come back on them,
Sure.
not XRP. So
Good point. Yeah. Let's touch on the chat real quick. I want to say hi to Lester. Lester's a great guy. He's always following the channel, the live streams. I'm glad to see him in the chat. He says he's changing his name to Crypto Dracula. He says, I've been buying so many dips during this bloodbath. I got more CasinoCoin and XRP than I could ever imagine. Hey, man, I'm happy for you, because as much as all of us don't like to see what's happened in the market, it's tough to look at. It's tough to have a understanding of it when emotions are attached to money, and people are emotional when it comes to fiat. It's 100% normal. At the same time, I've always tried to push individuals to take advantage of these times, if possible, to possibly cost average, to enter a project at a great point of, based upon prior months, graphs and charts and what you can speculate on the future. So I'm happy for you, Lester. That's exactly what the best outcome would be of a situation like this. So, for others who are just seeing the price drop and kind of have their hands tied, well, you know what? It's time to take a moment, putting the money off to the side. You don't have to buy more. You don't have to sell. Have patience, which we need anyways. We need patience, whether the CasinoCoin price is at 0.001 or if it's at 0.008. We need patience. So what it's done for me is allowed me to really separate myself from the money that's involved and look at the team, dissect the CasinoCoin team, dissect the XRPL, the future of it, the prospects with partnerships, with the metaverse, with casinos, with brick and mortar. What are we really, really looking at here? You get sidetracked on what the project offers when the price is moving and fluctuating and you're realizing profits and you're up and down. But when you have a minute and there's that long consolidation period, nothing's going on, low trading volume, it's time to really take a deep dive and go down the rabbit hole. How confident am I in this project and the people and the technology, etc.? I'm more bullish than ever. And we're looking at a trading price that none of us are too thrilled about, unless you're an example like Lester, where you were able to pick up a big bag or cost average. And that's part of the game. But, that's my take on it. If you're not able to capitalize on these downward trends, there is some value in taking time to reflect on other areas of any given project, I think.
yeah, no, I completely agree. Because that's the thing is, I was, for lack of better wording, I was born in the bear market, man. I saw the run-ups of 2017, 2018 and so forth. I didn't capitalize on it. I was, I didn't make it in time, so to speak.
Sure.
And so, yeah, over the last few years, I've been buying my way down. And that's exactly it. So I'm in the boat where Lester is, where I see the lows and I'm like, nice.
Yes,
I'm happy.
there is a part of it comes full circle immediately. I'm more happy now at 0.001 than I was at 0.003. You know what I mean? Which, to see the price drop to these levels right off the bat hurt. It stung. It was almost a little confusing. You're trying to figure out what happened to CSC Nation. Is everybody still around? Okay, yeah, they are. Okay. A week passes and all the CSC supporters are out there tweeting and this and that, and you get in touch with people and it's like, all right, we're gung-ho. The community's strong. The team is strong. The fundamentals of the project are strong. We get more information. We've got Mark, we've got Lisa, new hires. We've got Jonathan, who just came on board. We have more information pouring out. That's why my last video or two, I've just been very straightforward about put the money and the trading price off to the side for a minute. We have to put it off to the side and disconnect from it. And
exactly. I agree, because the thing is, like, short term, we can sit here and focus on price. All we're going to do is basically cause ourselves undue stress. Sorry.
yeah, funny phone.
Yeah, so basically when it comes down to it is we're just going to end up causing ourselves undue stress, because markets go up, markets come down. That's how it goes. Myself, I see these points as an awesome time to buy. And like, personally, when the price goes below my average, that's when I have dollar signs in my eyes, because I'm like, yo, I can lower my average below my price, like below my average even further, so
Yes.
that when price does go back up, I'm seeing profit even sooner.
Yes, I agree with you totally.
Yeah.
And
So
that's, that's the whole fundamental, the basics of, crypto trading 101 is dollar cost average. You could start there for the masses, and it's the simplest, most effective way of investing maybe ever.
yeah. And like, there's two different approaches to dollar cost average, or maybe I just have my terminology messed up. There's those that dollar cost average and they just buy a set amount, like say $100 every 2 weeks, regardless of the price.
Right.
That, I guess, is the true definition of dollar cost average. I have my own version of it where I like to buy when it goes below my average, so that I further reduce my average.
They're both essentially, in the long run, accomplishing the same task, I think, but there's going to be a higher or lower yield or percentage of return depending on how you do it, and the amount that you purchase versus what you hold currently. There's formulas within formulas, but I think the general idea is to not be all in at one set price. That would be another way of looking at it. You're not taking $1,000 or $100 or any number and buying all in at once, and then you're done forever. You're always able to move the scale depending on how you see fit. I mean, you could choose a dollar cost average negatively, right?
Yeah.
You could choose to buy at a higher DCA, which wouldn't make sense, but you do have that option. So it's not always a one size fits all. If you think the project's going to appreciate to figures well above your DCA, it might be wise to buy above your DCA.
Exactly. I was just about to say, and it also would make sense if like you haven't had the time to accumulate at those bottoms, then it does make sense to buy a bit above, because you're still accumulating, right? And so it all depends on personal tactic, but yeah.
Totally. And I've got, there's a couple tokens that I hold that outside of the trading price, my personal goals come into a certain number of tokens that I want to hold. I want to hold 10,000 tokens of this or 5,000 tokens of that, whatever it is, right? That's my goal outside of the money almost. Do I want to buy effectively? Do I want to cost average effectively? Yes. But at the end of the day, whether it takes me 3 months, 6 months, or a year, my goal is to hit a certain number of shares. I don't always operate that way, but there are examples of that where I'm kind of like, you know what? I want 10,000 shares of this. It's trading at, 3 cents a piece. I can afford to gather those shares over X amount of time. And when I get to 10,000, I'm done, or whatever the number is. So let's see who else we got in here. Here's Lester again, utility. Let's see, what's she say here? I got to roll back up the chat here. Utility and being KYC compliant, CasinoCoin will rise. Zoom out, I'll see everybody on the moon. Yeah, I agree with you. That's very well put. I think most, if not all, CasinoCoin supporters would agree with that concept. We've
Well,
got
that's
Pavian
exactly
XRP.
it.
He says, "What's up, Lester? Hope all is well with you and the little man." They're bantering back and forth. We've got earning passive income on my casino coin on BitTrue. I do like that feature. I have mine staked. You know, especially during the downtime, I like to have a little passive income, if not indefinitely, with a certain portion of my holdings. But yeah, I can't agree more. Passive income is fantastic. It's the share volume. Right now, it's not even the quote unquote income. For me, it's just the volume of free tokens. That's how I'm viewing it right now, anyways, just because the trading price is at a level that, for me, anyways, doesn't provide me with what I would consider income, but not to get sidetracked on that. But
Well, that's exactly it. It's basically free accumulation at this point.
yeah, exactly. I think that's what Lester was saying, but just to be more specific, how I'm viewing it personally, you know. Let's see. Yeah, Lester. We agree with you, man. Welsh Surfer 74. What's going on? That's a new name, I believe. He says, "What about staking CSC when flare drops? Should be a great passive earner." Can you elaborate on that code word? I don't know how those intertwine exactly as far as giving valuable information to everybody.
Yeah, no worries. We can discuss that a bit because there's a couple of questions in the chat that have been brought up about that in regards, like Welsh Surfer asking about the staking. We also have a couple questions from Pavian XRP regarding that as well. So yeah, I believe like it will provide like a staking opportunity for CasinoCoin on Flare, because yes, CasinoCoin has already been confirmed as going to be an X asset on Flare,
Right.
which I believe is a Y asset on Songbird. So we've already seen from Hugo and Songbird community and so forth, or Flare community and so forth on Twitter, that they're looking to launch that secondary aspect of Songbird, which has to do with the S and Y assets. Which I believe is the F, or no, sorry, that's the other way around.
X and Y.
S and X.
S and X. I've seen Daniel reference it too at times in the past, and I haven't sorted it out in concrete.
Okay. So let's break it down. Basically, on Flare, an F asset is like a primary asset that can be. There's a couple different aspects to it, but basically, F assets get tied up in using for delegation and so forth, like a Flare network asset. Whereas a Y asset is used for Flare finance, so for loan staking and so forth like that.
Okay.
So the Y assets don't have the full capability of an F asset, and so if we translate that over to Songbird, that's where F assets are S assets, and then Y assets are X assets.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yes, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Thanks for the clarification. Yeah, that makes sense. So how does CasinoCoin relate to that directly as far as additional staking opportunity?
Yeah, so basically what'll end up happening is I believe with the F assets, you'll be able to collateralize them and use for delegation. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've looked into this, and admittedly, my knowledge on Songbird and Flare are not as well off as others will say.
There's also been a period of time too, though, that with things being stagnant, it hasn't been the information, not that you can't find it, or, you know, it just doesn't seem like it's as readily available these days.
Actually, here's one right here. I have, somebody's at the door. Okay, so I'm going to post up a link in the chat here. It's actually from Raph Economan, and he breaks down the difference of F and Y assets.
Awesome.
So if you want to pull it up on your screen there, you can. and we can kind of discuss it. And it's basically the difference between being on Flare Network versus being accessed on Flare Finance. And yeah, so basically it clarifies the language between F assets and Y assets.
And where did you put the link? In the chat?
Sorry, in the chat there, so that everyone can have access to it. But yeah, so essentially
cool.
F assets are tied up on Flare Network, which will be able to have access to smart contracts. They're basically the supported F assets, which is like XRP, XLM, Doge, LTC, and I think Algo or Algorand also was part of that. So then the Y assets are used on Flare Finance, which is the decentralized finance platform. And those include, oh, sorry, Algo was part of the Y assets. So there's a whole bunch of Y assets, which is like Algo, ADA, SHIB, TEL, Celsius, BNB, Cake, SCSC, Gala, PAC. There's a whole bunch of them, and they're still coming. So basically, to answer the one question from Pay Me an XRP, yes, CasinoCoin can become an F asset from a Y, like you can, a Y asset can become an F asset. However, that needs to go through a delegation vote. So the Flare network community basically needs to vote on it and say, yes, we approve this Y asset in becoming an F asset.
Gotcha.
At which point it would then have access to smart contract capabilities and so forth like that.
It's a means of communication in a sense of I guess both sides of the token. They are separate, but they have the capability of being linked together in a sense at the same time, depending on how they're used or communicated with.
Yeah, so like from my understanding, like F assets have full access across the board where they have smart contract capabilities. You can use them in the decentralized finance system for loan collateralization, delegation, staking rewards, and things like that. Whereas Y assets are Flare Finance only, where they have access to the DeFi system. They can be used for staking, where like as we see, like I'm not sure if you're on Bifrost wallet or access the Songbird network at all to do the baking and stuff. Like myself, like I've wrapped up my Songbird, I have wrapped Songbird, I have it delegated into staking so that I earn SFIN basically.
Exactly. So that's the sector that you're dealing with the Y assets.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So they're unique in their own right, but they are in this whole ecosystem with the X assets, essentially being integrated to the Flare network and Flare Finance.
Yeah, exactly. So like if we're looking at it from the Flare network instead of Songbird, right? So once Flare network launches, you have F assets, which is like the main ones like XRP, XLM, Doge, LTC, like those ones that are been allocated as F assets. Those F assets will have smart contract capabilities, but they'll also be able to be used in the smart or Flare Finance platform for staking and all that other stuff, and like liquidity pools and so forth.
Gotcha. Yeah, what an interesting development, and the way that they've constructed that whole platform is really unique, and the possibilities, the potential for individuals like ourselves to yield a return on our investment and also take advantage of all these awesome aspects to it is unique for me. I've never seen this type of format or setup with any other facet of the industry personally.
Oh, likewise. Like I know there's a couple different platforms that offer this sort of deal. I think like this is kind of how Celsius network works, where basically you tie up assets and you end up earning yield on them. So it's basically yield farming, for lack of better wording.
Sure. Gotcha.
But I think Flare/Songbird ends up taking it a bit further and basically incorporates like the whole ecosystem where you have staking with liquidity pools and yield farming and uh, basically incorporating smart contracts for chains that don't have smart contracts. And like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
very exciting.
oh,
And
definitely.
the future developments are going to be even more impressive and detailed and widespreading than even we're at now, with the adoption and the expansion of just general knowledge and its use case and how people can tie into it and plug in. I mean, what else could you ask for, as an investor?
And that's exactly it. And see, like the other thing being is, I think what a number of people fail to see is that like a lot of people look at Songbird like a test network, right? That once Flare launches, Songbird goes out the window. But that's not the case, because Songbird is a canary network, which means it can survive on its own, whether it branches off and becomes its own separate network, or
Right.
whether it still become or stays as a proving grounds for Flare network. So what
Right.
end up happening is like developments end up happening on Songbird, and once those get approved, like say whether it's dApps or whatever the case, or even infrastructure upgrades and things like that, that ends up getting ported over to Flare, right?
Right.
So there's always going to be basically both networks running, and you're going to need to test all aspects of that. And being a canary network, it runs with live value. So not only like
Yeah, the
basically
guinea pig in this sense is almost more important than the final product. And
more or less,
it's always going to have to exist in order to transfer the advancements from Canary Songbird to Flare.
more or less, yeah.
Is
Unless
that
they
a
end up,
simple way to put it, an elementary way to put it?
yeah, that's exactly it. Because if you think about it, if they discern or decide to turn around and just start doing the development directly on Flare network, and a 0-day exploit's discovered, somebody could turn around and literally destroy the entire Flare network.
Yes, it's true. It's
Whereas
a line of
if they do
protection.
that on Songbird, that's something that's going to get identified on the Songbird network, and all that value is not going to be lost, right? So
Yes.
yes, Songbird is a live network. It does use live value. Like, so like myself, I can turn around, and once that aspect goes live on Songbird, I can turn around and start staking my CSC on Songbird. And then Flare goes live, and I can have CSC staking on Flare. And then, depending on how things go, it might end up being more lucrative to just stake on
Right.
Song.
That's a good point.
It's hard
I'm
to
glad
say.
we touched on this because it escaped me. I mean, I know what Songbird is, I know what the Canary Network is, but I never have reason to go down the rabbit hole and connect the dots and really sort things out. Yes, I understand it all, but now to put it in this context with you leading the way with the conversation, we can really encompass everything and be like, well, wow, okay. Now we understand that Songbird and the Canary Network are almost invaluable. Not only do we like having it, was it recommended or the proper way to conduct business and protect the Flare network originally, but it's almost like indefinitely you have to have this format. It's a line of security as well, I believe.
Yeah. Oh,
You
looks
know,
like we got Tyler in the chat here too.
Tyler Boone, nice man. What's up, Tyler?
But
So
yeah,
we've
no,
got
that's exactly it. As you were saying, it's a way to protect the main network. And so, yeah, as developments end up happening on Songbird, like if something ends up happening where like a 0-day exploit ends up being discovered, you have developers that are like building dApps, you have developers building infrastructure, different services and things like that. And it is more likely for that exploit to be discovered on the Canary network before it goes live, because even before those code changes get pushed up to the main network like Flare, you have, it's all open source, right? So you have basically people that are watching the commits going through it. And like even myself, like I could turn around and pull up the commits going through and being like, hey, whoa, there's something not right with that. I can turn around and do this with that. take another look, and they'll be like, whoa, okay,
Mhm.
dude, you just saved the network, you know.
Yeah,
Now there's,
exactly.
mind you, there is also the opportunity where, exploits discovered by somebody who's not such a great actor, and they just stay silent on it, just
Yeah,
waiting for that to go to the main network. But you have hundreds of other developers that are all watching,
right.
you know
Yeah. Hey,
and
real quick, Big Ted out there, he says he sent BCB a question yesterday. I'm guessing it's a blockchain backer on his live stream. If someone asked him yesterday, what's he think about CSC? He still has no faith. He told him to stop judging it on the old blockchain. CSC is now on the XRPL. That's a major issue, I think, and it's nobody's fault. I understand that the team is working hard. Now we got Jonathan as part of the marketing and information / social media aspect. I still see influencers, YouTube content creators, investors alike still thinking that the all-time high is 50 some odd cents and not understanding the aspect of the XRPL. And honestly, in large part, maybe it doesn't have much of an influence, but it needs to be nipped in the bud quick, because when information does start getting out to the masses, more potential customers, supporters, investors, so on and so forth, we want the correct information. And unless you ask for it, for some reason, it doesn't seem to, people like to do their own research, right?
yeah.
DYOR. People say
Yeah.
that, I say that. And then you do that, you take those steps, and you're like, oh, CasinoCoin, let me look it up. Oh, all-time high in 2018 of 55 cents or whatever they say. Well, it's not even close to the figure, right?
No,
It's
we've
very
already
misleading.
reached the all-time high. If you look at the conversion of like the 1,000 multiplier of cents, or sorry, the reduction of like 1,000 the supply, whatever.
Right. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yes.
Where it basically went like, it was at 40 million coins and then went to 40 billion,
Right.
that is going to drastically affect the price, because then you're looking at the all-time high being not 50 cents, but 0.005 cents.
Yeah, it's like
We've already
Bitcoin.
broke that. We were upwards of 0.008. So, and then that also continues to Big Ted's, it's a continual part of the comment where he mentioned now has utility and more casinos going live. And apparently BCB said it doesn't matter, look at the charts. And this goes right back to what I was saying, where people just care about the price. It's not a matter about
Yes.
fundamentals. They don't care about the utility. They don't care about the project. It's all about the dollar.
And that's the part that is what bothers me. And those are likely the individuals who will never, in quotes, make it in crypto. I'm not saying that you can't make a living or hit a nice little score on a swing trade, understanding how a project works and looking at some fundamentals and some price action and stuff. I understand all that. I've done plenty of that. I enjoy that as a side aspect of my core holdings and my long-term approach to this. I don't care what the price is today. I simply don't care what the price is February 12th of 2022 of any token. I do not care.
I completely agree, because if that was the case, back in April or May, when we did hit our all-time high there, I would have sold my bags. If
There
I
you
would have
go.
turned around and sold my bags at the top there, and then turned around and
Absolutely.
bought back now, dude, I would have. I can't even tell you how many multiplier I would have had on my bag right now. But
I know.
I've rode the bag down. Like, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. Like short-term price movement, I don't care.
I agree with you 100%. And that's the difference between, that's another reason why I love CSC Nation. I don't care if you or any of the other members of the community decided to sell. That's your own business. In your case, you didn't. But that shows me that if you didn't, if other individuals that I know didn't, us collectively as supporters of this project, that would be going against all the morals and the drive and the vision for, it's not, I don't view this opportunity individually for myself. I truly view this as CSC Nation, the CasinoCoin team, also our customers, the casinos. I love the casino environment. I love the business. I love the industry, not only for the sake of gambling. I like many aspects about it. And this is a collective effort from all parties to cross the finish line with this vision. And I think if you're buying and selling constantly in and out of the project, it's like, where does that really leave this core group of people that are involved in this movement? It'd be like being involved in a social movement, and jumping in and out of your belief system. That's how I view this. Not that hardcore, but you know what I'm saying? It can go almost to that extreme though, where it's like, I believe in this today, I don't tomorrow. Next week, I believe again, and I don't.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. It's like turn around. Like I've actually seen that from folks in whether it's Discord or Twitter, where they're like, "Oh, I believe in the project, but I'm going to sit here and FUD on it because I don't like where price is right now."
Yeah.
And it's like, dude,
Right.
like you realize like you're not helping matters. You're just perpetuating it. And then people are of a herd mentality. You know,
Yeah.
they turn around and it's like, okay, well, this guy's talking bad about it. It must be bad.
Right. Where are
it's
things
like,
really
well-
headed now that he said this comment, you know, and the FUD can be created so quickly, especially on a niche project like this that is so, they're one dimensional in the sense that our service, our technology is here to cater to gambling, the gambling industry. Yes, we have the metaverse, we have the transaction aspect, and maybe there's many other avenues that we can take, but the core, what we're trying to accomplish, the core of the company, of the use case, is to cater to online gambling in brick and mortar potentially. And that was a question someone had in the chat. I believe it was Welsh Surfer, touching on the brick and mortar aspect of CasinoCoin. I think that's definitely in the works. It's just going to take longer to progress. I think we want to focus on the online sector and get a core business going and generating income and movement before we really go hard and building a team that's going to hit the brick and mortar side.
Well, that's exactly it. Let me actually discuss that because that's a very valid point and also something that I wanted to discuss as well. Because I see a lot of folks that are asking about, okay, well, is it just online or are we looking at brick and mortar as well? Like, let me be clear, like, I know, you know, by others in the chat, like, I'm not part of the CasinoCoin team. I'm just a community member, but like you guys, I just am quite involved and try to do what I can help.
Yeah.
That being said, when it comes to CasinoCoin, like right now, like it would be great to get into a brick and mortar casino, but it also doesn't make sense from a fundamental standpoint at the moment because of the low volume and liquidity. You could have one player turn around and say, you know, whether it be a professional poker player or a deep pocketed slot player or whatever you want to call it. You can turn around and have one person walk into a casino trying to use CasinoCoin and they, you know, load through $1 million. That's going to have a drastic effect on the market, both whether from a buying aspect or selling aspect. It could turn around and spike the price and then crash it right back down after. And then people are going to call, oh, pump and dump.
Good point.
And then
and that's all coming from one individual.
Exactly. So what makes more sense from the standpoint is, you know, we start with where the team's working, where you have the team working for online operators. You start small with, like, say, Rock and Rolla, you get a couple more on board, and then you get a couple more on board, and then, you know, maybe host a tournament or something small where, you know, you're able to sort of mitigate the volatility to a certain degree. And then with that, you end up building volume, you build liquidity, and with more volume, liquidity becomes stability. And I'm not saying a stable coin, but in the sense of, you know, you have this player that comes through and it's like, oh, I'm going to buy 50K worth of CSC. It's like, okay, you just bought 1 pip on the order book.
Right.
versus buying like, 10, 20 pips. And then you have retail or people that are sitting there like you and I, where we sit there and watch the chart or see the chart, and we see this dude walk in and he buys up 20 pips on the order book. We're like, yo, FOMO. And then you have a whole bunch of people turning around
Seriously. Yeah.
and buying up. And the next thing you know, he ends up winning some and just sells the bag, walks out of the casino, and the whole market just tanks after. And then us folk are just like, yo, we just got screwed.
What happened here? Yeah. He
Yeah.
made all the money
And it's
in
not
both
even that he
aspects.
made all the money. He won a game of slots or won a jackpot and cashed out,
Right.
and
You can almost, it would happen unintentionally even.
well, and that's exactly it. That's what I was leading at, is that it would be an unintentional pump and dump, for lack of better wording, because
Sure.
that's exactly how it would look on the charts. But meanwhile, it's just somebody going in and, dropping 50K and winning a bag.
That's a good point. That's a really substantial point. So, and I think the team is obviously mindful of that, the way they're operating, the way that they're, even the soft launch. I would have loved for the grand finale, the big ribbon cutting aspect to take place and everybody go crazy and the market's doing great. And we're, running partnerships with 3 or 4 casinos the first day. And, but when you really think about it, the way Daniel operates, some people don't have the patience for his kind. He is very by the book. He's very strict and professional with the way he operates, from what I understand and what I see and witness. I agree with him, though. If you have the long-term vision, meaning in my case, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I'm not even talking a decade. If you have the patience to wait this out 3 to 5 years or possibly less, depending on what you're looking for out of the project, it would be hard for me personally to ever exit this project entirely. That's not my intention. I love the staking opportunities. I love the fact that I can actually use the tokens. I do gamble. I do play poker. I'd love to be able to use them at casino resorts for food and apparel and booking reservations and hotels. Does that come in the future? I don't know. But if it does, I'm going to be involved in that. I can't imagine not holding any XRP or any CasinoCoin. That's where I'm at. And same with XRP, since I just stated that.
No, I agree completely.
I feel the same way.
It doesn't matter 20 years down the road. If I'm still kicking, I'm still holding CSC.
I'm not going to be able to get rid of it. Is there a time and place to take profit and focus on the actual investment at hand? I'm sure there is. That's not any time in the future for me. And if it does happen and we are fortunate enough to be in that situation, for me personally, it would be a small percentage of my holdings. That's how confident I am of where this project's headed. It's a subjective aspect. Every project is, that's me personally. I think a lot of us are like-minded in that sense, but we'll see what happens with, I think even the next quarter or two. By summertime, I think we're going to have an even more definitive answer on where things are headed. The team seems to be really proactive right now. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of collaborating within the team to get this vision locked in on where are things going? Where are we headed? Let's get it done. Let's move.
That's exactly it. And we're seeing that, especially with discussions in Discord there. That's what I find is a lot more of the discussions happen in Discord, but there's also room for, well, such as the name of the application, more Discord to take place. Right. So I know even in Discord there's folks that basically, like, you say anything positive and, well, you're a moon boy shilling it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And it's like,
silly.
It really is. But detracting a bit there. Basically what it comes down to is, like, the team is talking and working behind the scenes while we're not privy to everything going on, because we're not shareholders. We don't own stake in the company. We own some tokens. That being said, like, the team is more than communicative enough with the community. Like, people should be happy, but I think crypto has left a lot of folk with this idea that I own your coin, you owe me answers. And when
Right.
it's like, things are happening, you gotta like let us work. It's, well, that's not good enough. I want answers and I want answers now. But the thing is, there are answers given, whether you use a search function in Discord or Twitter. That's a whole other thing. Like, you can hop up on Twitter and type in somebody's name with some keywords and you can see previous conversations that took place. The same thing with Discord. You hit Control F, you can search the chat history and find the answers you're looking for. They are there.
Yeah.
And that being said, is like the team is like highly communicative with the community. Yeah, the teams communicates highly with the community.
Yeah, they do. I agree with that.
Yeah, and especially like Mark is in Discord probably like quite often, and I'm starting to see Johnny B in there, and I see John on Johnny B there on Twitter as well. And so I'm, as with Johnny B coming on board, I'm also seeing the CasinoCoin handle starting to become more interactive as well. So that being said, sorry, I got a little away from myself.
Hey, real quick, if individuals that are out there in the chat or people who watch this, because we have however many people watching live right now, but we'll have several hundred people, if not possibly over 1,000 people at some point watch this live stream in the next days or weeks. I think it'd be important for us to take a minute to put that out there. I mean, we have Twitter, which all of us kind of have met each other through, but the Discord is kind of like the OG of the CasinoCoin information over the past several years. Is that a safe statement? I mean, where can people find this Discord app? Because there's a lot of insight and communication that takes place on Discord that doesn't always take place in Twitter land, from what my experience is.
Well, that's exactly it. Sorry, I just shared the wrong link. It's HTTP, not HTTPS. But yeah, there we go. So the chat.casinocoin.im is what gets you into the Discord server there. But yeah, like Discord is, that's where I first found CasinoCoin community. Like via Twitter, there was a couple folks here and there, but like most of my engagement and involvement with the CasinoCoin community took place in Discord. When I had questions, like when I was on Twitter, I'd turn around and ask questions and I always got the same answer: do your own research. And it's like, okay,
Right.
I'm all new to this. I have no idea where to go, what to do, what to look for, well, just do your own research. Oh,
Yeah,
right?
that's a brick wall. I mean, where are you heading with that?
Well, exactly.
Okay. DYOR, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I ended up finding the CasinoCoin Discord and I had questions. And I asked my questions and my questions got answered civilly, respectfully. They pointed me towards resources. They showed me basically where to go and how to learn on my own, and that led me down being able to research other projects and not just CasinoCoin. Like I was able to go through and find more information on the XRP, XRPL, more information on even the CasinoCoin ledger when it was running on the other network there. It helped me figure out stuff to do with Bitcoin and Ethereum that I never understood before, or, all different kinds of projects. It wasn't just CasinoCoin that I was limited to. It opened doors for my crypto journey, basically.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it's more, you're not going to get as much FUD, if you want to call it that. The people that are in that community seem to be more like-minded. So is Twitter in large part, but you don't have the flyby BS that just gets thrown in there constantly. It's with any project. I mean, you take Bitcoin all the way down to SHIB token, you're going to have it, right? But I mean, it's refreshing to know that I can almost consider the Discord CasinoCoin section as like CSC Nation. 99% of the people that are in there they're enthusiastic, they're knowledgeable, their willingness to help is there. And it's not a big FUD fest where people are zipping in and out and muddying the waters, right?
We do get a bit of that in Discord, especially like some of the comments come through Telegram because you don't need to be verified so much through Telegram. And
Okay.
there's a reason the one channel is called the Wormholes because it connects Discord and Telegram. But to
Okay.
get back to your one point that you were mentioning, where you were expecting like by summertime that a lot of things would start like picking up and so
Mhm.
forth, I do agree because it basically comes through that the team is mentioned in Discord. I'm not sure if it was shared so much on Twitter, but basically, come April is the ICE convention, the ICE convention.
Yes. Yeah, good
And
point.
that's where a lot of the gaming industry gets together and talks about, you know, advancements in technology, different products and showcases and things like that, where, you know, that's where a lot of the collaboration, networking, and innovation ends up taking place because, like, you know, you
Yeah.
can have somebody from a casino, somebody from CasinoCoin or whatever, they meet up, and the dude from casino is like, yo, that's freaking awesome, but can it do this? And then the team's like, oh, whoa, we never thought of that. Let's get working on that. And that's
That's the
where,
dynamic, the aspect to the token that we're going to have these two lanes, right? We're going to have the casinos. We're going to have possibly the metaverse if that all sorts itself out with those opportunities. But what other forks in the road are there for what Casino Coin can satisfy for another type of gaming industry or these other potentials? I mean, I think even Casino Coin, the team themselves don't know at the 100th percentile what this project can actually handle or accomplish. You know, at some level, I think there's going to be a situation at some point in the future where the team's like, oh, wow, we can actually do this or that with the token. Let's get it done. You know, and here's so David in the chat. Now Tyler, I believe, is has just answered him.
yeah,
David
I
in the
did this.
chat says, is it possible to hold CSC on cold storage? When he tried to add it on his ledger, CSC didn't come up as an option. Now, Tyler says, to answer that, he says, David, you can access your CSC through your XRP toolkit if you connect to your ledger. Do you
Yeah,
want to elaborate on that at all?
absolutely. I actually put a comment right above that as well, with a link to my video. So yes, David, you can store your casino coin on a couple different hardware wallets. Ledger, through XRP Toolkit, where you'd connect your ledger to XRP Toolkit, you add the CSC trust line to your XRP account, and then you can just send XRP over. If you want to send the the CSC over. If you want to send the CSC back out, you just connect your ledger to XRP Toolkit and you send the CSC. I linked a video there in the chat. Check it out. That literally covers the how-tos of sending, receiving, adding the trust line, and everything. Recently, Decent has also started supporting XRPL tokens as well. So if you end up picking up a Decent wallet, they also have a event going on right now. If it's still, I think it's still going on, where if you get a Decent wallet, you can register and they'll actually hook you up some CSC. And so Decent Wallet has also started supporting, as I said, XRPL tokens. So you can store your CSC on a Decent wallet. And as well, for some, there is a cold storage solution, which, sorry, just disappearing here for a sec, are the Zum Tangem cards.
Excellent.
Okay. So these are basically NFC card. This card holds your public-private key, and essentially, yeah, you'd register two cards. You have your primary and you have your backup, and these are required to sign the transaction. Without the card, you can't sign the transaction. Even if you have the account pulled in, you go to sign, it'll say, you know, tap your card. If you don't have the card, you can't sign the transaction. So there is a bit of a risk where if the card gets destroyed or lost, you run the risk of not being able to access your funds, but that's why you also have a backup, right? So that's basically the cold storage solution for some. Additionally, while not recommended, you can also import your ledger account into Zum. However, this kind of mitigates the cold storage aspect of the ledger wallet, right? So like to expand a bit further on that, basically like your private keys, right? Your 12, 24 words. You can import those into Zum, and then you can access your Ledger wallet in Zum and then just delete it after. But by having those keys and importing them, you kind of mitigate the security that the Ledger wallet offers. So
Yeah, that's a great question and a great answer. Very thorough. I think there's probably going to be other people that have that question as well to really safeguard their investment and their tokens. Certainly, so yeah, coming full circle on CasinoCoin, we're going to jump into XRPL merch here in just a moment and take a look at the site. We've had it pulled up the entire show here just to let everybody see what's going on. This is CODEWARD's project, his baby in a sense, his side hustle at the moment. But with the expansion and the adoption of the XRPL and all of the issued tokens and future projects, this is really going to be a great example of where you can go to find apparel and other items to support your projects of choice. There's a couple on the list here that I'm invested in now that outside of XRP and CasinoCoin, I want to get some apparel, get a hat, get a t-shirt or a hoodie, right? And it's like Tyler Boone with boonrings.com. I've been an affiliate of theirs for quite a while, and they offer fantastic titanium product. As we all know, most everybody in the chat is going to have had some exposure or understanding as to what Tyler offers in his company. And this is another example. I want to support CODEWARD. I want to support the XRPL, and I want to support all these issued tokens that I believe in. Actually, all of these projects, I think they're fantastic at what they do. I think the future is very, very bright, for lack of better terms, for our vision here as investors in these projects and what the XRPL has to offer. And so in closure, let's go back through CasinoCoin real quick, and we can touch back on it. There's no real strict guidelines here, but me personally, as everybody knows, I take my time out of any given day or week or month to put out content related to almost primary at the 100 percentile CasinoCoin. It's my favorite project of all time. If I didn't have $1 invested in this project, I'd still want to talk about it. I love the technology. I love the industry. I love the people. I've met dozens of amazing people. CODEWARD, obviously, an excellent example of that. Everybody else out there in the chat and the affiliates that I've worked with and helped support, and what awesome friendships I've already gained and realized in my short amount of time being involved in this community. The team is hard at work. They're making drastic moves to make this project flourish. Not for us. We're a byproduct. Are we important? Yes. They're working hard for themselves. They're working hard for their families. They're working hard for their vision. We are part of that. CSC Nation is very important. They're working hard for us at some level. They can't tell us that because of legalities, but CSC Nation is very important to Daniel, to Andre, to Matthew. I know that. We know that. Okay. We're valued people. We're a valued community. So go back to the fundamentals in times like this with a trading price that might not be exactly what you want to see. Go back to what the team's accomplished, what their roadmap is. We're going to be seeing a new roadmap here anytime. They've revised it. It's going to be more detailed. It's going to be more lengthy and probably more impressive. CODEWARD and myself, our vision is not blurred. We have our eye on the prize. We're focused. We're determined. We're confident. The CasinoCoin team's confident. And here we are. We're here as a community. We're putting out content. And I am truly, to use the redundant word of bullish, I'm more bullish today than I have been since day one, to be honest. Money aside, trading price aside, this is part of the ebbs and flows of any startup company. The team's extremely impressive to me, and I love the way things are headed, where things are headed.
I agree completely. So just going to share a link in the chat here. This is actually your affiliate link there, just savant.xrplmerch.com for anybody in the chat. So as we get in here, I'm also going to post here a coupon code. Sorry.
Yeah, throw it all out there, whatever you got today. I do want to make a little announcement. Gambling Savant apparel is going to be available at some point. CODEWARD's working on a few mock-up examples of different designs that we're working on, t-shirts, hoodies, hats. And so you'll be able to pick up a Gambling Savant t-shirt along with, of course, all of the options that we're going to go through here in just a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so as I mentioned, so savant.xrplmerch.com, go check it out. There's a coupon code there, merch10, which will give you 10% off your order. And as well, there's additional savings if you pay with Zum or like pay with XRP. So you can actually get a decent discount there if you end up paying with Zum and use the coupon code there. That being said, yes, today, as Gambling Savant mentioned, I'm going to be launching a line of Gambling Savant merch. If you want to go ahead and pull up that link, you can. And so essentially, as mentioned, like the site's just basically more of a side business for me. It's just something that I seen a hole in the community when cryptostickers.com ended up going down. So when that went down, there was still a bunch of merch that I wanted to get access to that I couldn't anymore because, well, crypto stickers went down. He ended up looking to work on a different project and stuff and kind of move on from it. So I was like, well, I seen an opportunity and I just kind of started up xrplmerch.com. So primarily focused, as I said, around the XRPL. I've contacted a few different projects, reached out, like obviously we have XRP, CasinoCoin. I've also contacted like Corsex, Nerian, Equilibrium Games, and MG Social are the handful that I have on there. We also have access to Zum merch as well. So if you want to support Zum and XRPL Labs there, go ahead and you can order some Zum merch there. Basically, what I'm doing when it comes to the Zum merch is basically 10% of the order I'm donating to the Zum charity wallet. So whenever you order Zum merch, it does go to a good cause as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
so this is the main page, right? We've got XRPL merch. We've got the featured items. So you've got a selection of featured items. We've got different categories. We have hats, we have t-shirts, sweaters, socks, accessories. So let's just buzz through a couple of these. Here are the hats. We've got everything from CasinoCoin running down to XRP, Equilibrium, so on and so forth. There's a couple pages of options. We do have the Gambling Savant hat here. Looks beautiful. Let's head on back to some other tabs here. We'll take a look at the t-shirts. Everybody loves a good t-shirt, of course.
This is where the bulk of everything is the t-shirts mostly.
Right. And so look at the array here. Okay. And this is giving our respect to CODEWARD. We're not trying to sell you on anything right now. This is just part of the formality of going through what he's up to, what his latest venture is. And I respect what he's doing. This gives, I want to buy an Equilibrium shirt. Okay. Where was I going to go get an Equilibrium shirt? I have no idea. I'd like to have one. I've got CasinoCoin apparel. I've got XRP apparel. Where was I going to go get these other issue tokens on the XRPL merch? I don't know where to get it. Now I do. Okay. And here it is, xrplmerch.com. The name is beyond fitting. CODEWARD is very professional and he's been in the community forever. We all know him and like him, and he's very respected. So we have a lot of faith in seeing the name with the face and who we're dealing with. I couldn't be happier with having this as an option to buy apparel and other items. So that's my take on it. That's my genuine personal opinion. And I think all parties could agree on that. So here we are. I mean, page after page of different designs. And the cool thing about, I saw a little bit of behind the scenes of how this works and some design when I was working with CODEWARD on some Gambling Savant apparel. If you have a request that's reasonable and just the natural progression of his site, there's going to be more and more options. There's already 55 different results that pop up for t-shirts alone. So he has a vast array. That number is going to continue to grow within these projects alone. Also with other issued tokens on the XRPL that come along. And so already there's an incredible selection, and that's going to continue to grow. So very encouraging, very fun to sift through this when you got a little downtime. Everybody loves options in life, right? So it's fun to see what he's put together here. And I love the way the site flows, the platform here. Lots of great hoodies. What else could you ask for, right? As supporters of these projects, how else would you want to support the investment that you have, or the excitement that you have for any given token? Let's look at the accessories here. Coffee cups, mouse pad, face mask. If you're in a situation where you need to throw on a mask, rock your CasinoCoin mask. You know, the options are endless, right? CODEWARD. I mean, you could essentially come up with any item to throw a logo on. We've got water bottles and phone case covers, and this is awesome. I mean, I'm sure it's fun for you to get creative, to also have a tangible item to put out to the public.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. And so, like, as you were mentioning, like, I'm always working on different designs and stuff. Like, I have my 9 to 5 that I do, but then after work, I have like an hour where I just play around in image editing. And I'm like, hey, I wonder how this would work. I wonder how this would work. And yes, that's the thing is with the system that I'm using, like, I have access to a whole bunch of stuff, like whether it's t-shirt, hoodies, even like, you know, if you want underwear, we can talk about doing you up a pair of CasinoCoin underwear or something, you know? Like the options are limitless. Like, I actually found out just after Christmas that I could do up even wrapping paper. So cool. Yeah, it is cool. I'm thinking I'll be offering that soon, or at least come next Christmas.
I know what I'll be wrapping with.
Right. So anyways, that being said, as you mentioned, like, we have more products that are coming, and actually that's one thing, come Monday, like, actually via the stream here, I just launched the Gambling Savant items on the site literally just before the stream went live here. So if you wanted, like, you can actually pull up just the Gambling Savant items there. Here, I'll pop the link in the chat there for y'all. But just to see which ones are strictly for Gambling Savant there. And there's,
yeah, you can search up with the little search bar up at the top right as well, yep, which I just did. I typed in Gambling Savant, and here we have 6 options. We've got the Gambling Savant hat. I love the hat. I've got to pop on that like ASAP. We've got a baseball jersey. We've got a hoodie. We've got a wild. So I really love my brain cell logo. I've always just been attracted to the colors and the idea behind it. And the t-shirt came out ridiculously wild and crazy in a good way, of the brain cell itself right there, front and center. I love that shirt so much. And we've got another larger logo in the center here, the brain cell icon or logo with Gambling Savant, sharpen your edge below. And then we have the similar t-shirt with the logo up in the top pocket area, top upper side of the chest. And I'm happy. CODEWARD's doing a fantastic job operating, and in such a timely manner too. I mean, we put this together in short order. We have some options out there for Gambling Savant. We'll either revise or add to, or whatever we feel like in the future. there are options available. I hope you like the current selection, and onward and upward, right?
Yeah, exactly it. So actually, come Monday here, I'll be launching a few more items to do with like the other project listings as well. I don't want to kind of spoil the bit, but there's a whole like another product line, so to speak, like not just t-shirts, sweaters and stuff. There's actually a whole another product that I'll be putting out come Monday. I was just putting some final things on the designs. I got a few more t-shirts coming out. But as Gambling Savant mentioned, like I'm also able to do custom stuff. So if you want like a custom shirt with even just like your Twitter profile picture on it, or something unique, something custom, do you want like, let me know. Reach out to me, either CODEWARD on Twitter, well, CODEWARD1 on Twitter, or even XRPL merch. Like I manage both. So yeah, if there's something custom you want, we can do custom work. If or
Like a
we
special order, more or
yeah,
less.
exactly. And like I do this for the community. It's not about making a whole crap load of money or anything like that. It's just more so a service for the community that I'm putting together. Like more or less, I actually don't make a whole lot of money off it between hosting costs. Payment to like the suppliers and stuff like that. Like I also pay for increased stuff for the website. Like the cost of it basically mitigates any profit that I make.
Yeah.
So it's
So
not
what I
about,
like about it, from my perspective, yeah, I'm working with you, but beside that, just as a consumer of this type of product and this platform and the website, it feels very similar to Tyler Boone with boonrings.com as far as the collaboration, the product availability, the customization aspect. It feels very genuine. It feels, that's off the get-go with Tyler and his dad and boonrings.com. It was that genuine feel of good people, and CODEWARD, you are certainly one of them. I put you right there at the same rank of that relationship I have with XRPL merch, and you as a human, you as an individual, you're the aspect of caring about the community, caring about individuals. We love that we have an option to purchase product. Honestly, I don't, price aside, the fact that I can go buy a CasinoCoin shirt is invaluable to me from a reputable individual who is legendary in the CasinoCoin world and is very talented and knowledgeable on the XRPL. I mean, I'm sold. So to speak on your behalf and speak highly of you, these are genuine words, and that's how I view you.
well,
So I think
it.
others have the same outlook.
Well, I appreciate it very much. Like actually, as an example, I just sent you a link there, which was a tweet from one of our community members who ordered up one of the Phoenix mugs there. If you want to pull it up, you can, because
You know what? Some of your chat remarks aren't coming through, your comments.
oh,
I see the coupon code merch10. You did a shout out to Callie. Hey, Callie. I meant to do that as well.
You might have links blocked on.
I think the links are blocked.
Oh, okay, so you might have to post them yourself. I sent
Do
you
you want to read off the site?
yeah, basically the link that I posted was savant.xrplmerch.com, which is your affiliate link. And then if you ended up doing like savant.xrplmerch.com/product-category/savant, it would pull up your products as if you did the search for Gambling Savant.
Let's see if this works. So what I'm going to
put
put
it
into
in
the chat.
The Zoom chat here.
You don't think it'll work there?
For
It
you,
might not.
if you post the link, it'll work. If I do, it doesn't.
Okay. So I'm going to put in savant.xrplmerch.com/product/category/savant.
Nope. Sorry, just a moment here. So it's product category or product dash category.
Oh, dash. Okay.
Yeah. Savant. It's in the Zoom chat there.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah. And
I
then,
got you. Okay.
yeah. So there's the link there for the site, which basically links your affiliate link there. But I also in the Zoom chat there, I sent you a link for a Twitter, which was for somebody that ended up having a product that kind of went awry from one of the suppliers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see
I
here.
feel bad the way that it turned out because like that wasn't like I found that quite unacceptable. It should not have been sent like that. But I was able to go through, contact the supplier and get it all sorted out for the individual. So yeah, if you want to pull
Good.
up the Twitter link, you can.
Yeah, let me share that screen here. Is this coming through for everybody? Can you see Twitter right here?
Nope. I think you have it set to share your the one window. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Got it?
Yep, there you go. So yeah,
So
with this
Quentin
one,
Leahy.
yeah, Quentin Leahy. So he ended up I'm not sure why it took as long as it did. I've never had anything take this long. But after a patient 2.5 months, he was super happy to finally receive his XRP coffee mug, but the logo came upside down.
Oh, how about that? So hey, he's got a one-off.
Yeah, so he's got an
Sometimes
NFT.
sometimes the reject, as they phrase it, sometimes in certain industries, the rejects are in 10 years, that cut might be worth about 10 times what it is today.
Hey, who knows?
I'm kidding, but hey, but that's an example of the coffee mug. I mean, that's fun. That's fun to get. It's fun to, how about a gift, for a birthday or around the holidays, you give someone an XRP cup or a CasinoCoin coffee mug.
Or, this is a issue that run in with my girlfriend. So like down in the comments, like I got them all squared away. I contacted the supplier. I have them a replacement being shipped out. And that's the thing, as I mentioned in the comments, like the community and like customers, like you guys are all like number one, like when it comes to getting things sorted, because like your satisfaction is top priority, because without the community, without people buying stuff, like it's just a namespace, like, and that's what I think a lot of bigger companies fail to realize after a while, is they become too big to fail, so they stop caring about their customers. But I don't care how big XRPL merch gets, customers will always be number one, and your satisfaction matters.
Yeah.
So, but now stepping back, as what I was saying is that this is one thing I run with my girlfriend, is like, she's always asking me, well, what do you want? What do you want for Christmas? What do you want for your birthday? What do you want for Valentine's Day? Like, what do you want? And I'm like, there's nothing really that I do want. Like, if there's something that I want, I go to the store and I buy it. Like, if there's something that I want, it's probably a little more expensive than you're willing to dole out. Like, I wouldn't mind a Creative or an Ender 3 Pro 3D printer, but
Right.
you go drop
Yeah. We do
350
tend
bucks
to
on
be
it.
that way.
Yeah, exactly. So then I'm just like, well, I don't know, hop on XRPL merch and order me something. Like, even if it's a
Yeah.
t-shirt.
It's a great option. It's a great resource. It really is, because people want to be able to express themselves, right? They express themselves through the way they dress. Lots of people have tattoos. I have tattoos. It's a form of expression. There you go. You got tattoos. It's a form of
Yeah, I
expression.
got my Yoda, exactly. Well, I've
Yeah.
got a lot more than my Yoda, but yeah, that's exactly.
People wear chains and bracelets and rings. And so that's part of being unique as an individual. People also like to support their sports teams. They like to support the company that they work for. And also, in this case, our investments and projects that not only are we invested in, these are primarily utility tokens.
Yep. And that's exactly it.
So we get to actually use these projects. What better way of expressing your support for a project than to throw on a hat or a t-shirt? I'm always, I've got the CasinoCoin hat on right now. I love representing things I'm interested in.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's the other thing, is utility is key. And that's the other thing with XRPL merch, is I actually prefer XRP payments. It is faster and cheaper for me to accept an XRP payment, because essentially, like, with the way the site's set up and like using traditional payment rails, like if you make a payment on XRPL merch using a credit card, it takes a week for that to process and get through, and like, for me to actually receive that payment.
That's a good point.
If I turn around and use like XRP and I take an XRP payment, I can turn around and receive that payment, send it off to the exchange, convert that to Canadian funds, and have it withdrawn in my bank. And I have that in a couple hours.
That's the game changer right there. I mean, on all levels, there it is, the XRPL. Like we were talking early in the show. Yeah, you have Ethereum working on their network and ETH 2.0, but guys, I mean, XRPL is the real deal. We all know that. I'm not, recreating the wheel here and our train of thought, but I mean, we're going to see this blossom and flourish in real life scenarios where, look, CODEWARD prefers payment in XRP. So he's a vendor. He's one of however many there are at this point accepting the token or that type of transaction. But that's where we're headed. And that's why Tyler creates the sum cards, essentially, is a means of transacting with this new technology that is going to make every other form of transactions obsolete, essentially, in the relatively near future, so.
Well, I agree. And that's exactly it. And that's also why I also try to encourage the XRP payments by giving a discount. Like if you turn around and pay with some, you get a 10% discount.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that's real life savings. I mean, that's substantial. That's a great discount.
Well, yeah, and that's exactly it. And then combine that with the merch 10 offer there. Like the way that it's done, it's like, it takes 10% off, and then the remaining amount, it takes 10% off that. So
sure,
like it's not quite 20% off, but it's like 10% off, 10% off. Like, because
it's a great savings, especially considering you get to utilize the technology that we're all gung-ho about.
yeah, that's exactly it. And that's what's optimal about it, is its utility for the XRP ledger. And that's what we're all focused on, right? It's all about utility. And what better utility than using the XRP for a payment as being what it's supposed to be used for. XRP is a payment service, or like meant to be used for payments. It's a payment rail. Right. Why not for payments?
And here's Tyler right here. He says, what's also crazy is the potential to hold crypto in business treasury and use it as collateral to take out low interest and instant crypto loans to be used to supplement business expenses.
Exactly.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, man. Thinking outside the box. And that's exactly
it. Buddy.
You turn around and take XRP payments. You have XRP, you collateralize that into the loan to turn around, and for Tyler's case, I don't know if this is what he did, but turn around and use that collateralized loan to get a laser engraver. And then you turn around and increase production and increase productivity, thus forth making you even more money. You pay back that loan and say, the volatility of the market ends up making it so that you actually end up paying back less than what you owe.
While you're potentially staking your XRP.
Yep, exactly.
And earning passive income on the investment itself. Dude, hey, Tyler, well put, man. That's genius. That's what it's all about right there. That scenario is beautiful to me. I love seeing that real life context of, no cap. Yeah, exactly. No cap gains, dude. There it is. Right.
Yeah.
Well put, man.
See, that just actually made me realize something. I could actually.
Oh, look where this is headed. We're going to,
Okay. Here's a brain blast moment. Okay. So me as a merchant, someone else can take it's not solely directed at me, but here, Tyler, you just rocked my world. So here's the thing. Okay. I turn around, and the way that this works is I have to basically when somebody places an order on XRPL merch, it comes the payment comes off my credit card or my line of credit, however you want to phrase it. Okay. So I've got to pay that back. So now here's the thing. I turn around and essentially becomes a cyclical payment where I turn around and take an XRP payment that ends up coming off my credit card or so forth. I then take a collateralized loan against the XRP to turn around and pay the payment, which then cycles back, and then I can then thus forth pay it back forwards to pay off the loan. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, exactly. He sees the wheels turning. I do too. The thing is, what you said is correct, but there's even legs that come off all of it too, tentacles, where the options are for conducting business. That's what business owners want, whether it's your primary job or how involved you want to get. It's working smarter, not harder. I mean, you want these options to have everything frictionless and more streamlined while yielding a larger net gain on your time and money spent, while also supporting the technology.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. And then not getting hammered on capital gains taxes while you're at it.
Absolutely. If you can avoid that alone, it's net positive, obviously. I mean, yeah. So wow, Tyler. So Tyler's living it.
Oh yeah.
He's living proof of a net positive end result of the technology and going down the trail to capitalize on the benefits there, right? Excellent, man. Hey, and before we get off here, we'll go for a little bit longer, whatever we feel like. I do want to say though, what I'd like to do once the market picks up, and I'm not going to be a fair weather fan where, I don't put out videos when the market's down. I've never been that way. I'm not that way, but I did think with where CasinoCoin went in particular, the levels we were at, I kind of wanted the dust to settle and let the steam cool off and dissipate, because emotions were running high for lots of people, for the community. There's been a transition with the team and new hires and some movement within the team itself. And I just wanted things to kind of come full circle personally, to represent myself and the company and the project properly. And also individuals like CODEWARD and Tyler. I don't want to start getting people in the mix with a volatile situation and emotions are running high, and you know what I'm saying? So I took a minute off. It wasn't even that great. It wasn't even that much time. It was several weeks, right? But what I want to do with any movement in the market, with any positive news, kind of get the community back together, new investors, new supporters of crypto, and more importantly, XRPL tokens, primarily focused on CasinoCoin. Get another live stream up and running in the next several weeks, likely next month sometime. Get CODEWARD back on, get Tyler back on, David Cohen with artplate.com, any affiliates that I have, any other individuals that want to jump on, get a big Zoom collaboration going, really spark some conversation and have some fun. Talk about crazy ideas, talk about real tangible, matter of fact situations that people have going on in their lives, where they want to go in the future. Talk crypto, of course. I think that'd be fun. We'll have it more laid back in the sense that it just a total free for all. See how everybody's doing, get a cup of coffee and shoot the breeze for a couple hours. I'd love to do that. Have a little party per se, and have a little celebration. Have a celebration of crypto, a celebration of us as individuals and the projects that we support. And I think it'd be fun. I think let's do that in the next several weeks. Tyler says one day soon we will have business crypto debit cards that give rewards and XRP for spending. Those rewards could chip away at loan interest.
Absolutely.
Every little bit counts. And
that is what I need now. Because if I could hook up a store to something like that, like I'd be golden. But like I've looked into a few of the cards like crypto.com and so forth, and whether it be the fees or the requirement to hold like crypto.com for similar better cards, like you need to be holding Crow. And it's like, man, like I just want a card that I can pay it with XRP, and it just, I don't have to worry about things. But
Yeah.
yeah, I would absolutely love a business, even if it is a debit card and I pre-fund it and then, payments just come through and then I can run everything off that card. And then I have a total transaction history that doesn't run into my personal finances. Cause then like currently having to differentiate personal finances from what's coming through for XRPL merch for like tax purposes and so forth. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, Tyler, just to point you out, thank you for participating in the chat here. Of course, we'll have you on the stream here shortly. Just really wanted to focus on the XRPL merch site today. Feature CODEWARD's endeavor and all the hard work he's put into his platform here. It's excellent. It's beautiful. I love the way it's put together. Very simple to navigate. Great options for checkout and purchases, and the amount of items that he already has available is quite stunning, honestly. Great selection. And so I think we accomplished our mission today. Had some fun, had some CasinoCoin talk, had some crypto talk. We're still running through some awesome ideas. Let's touch on Tyler's latest idea here. He says Global ID already has one that pays up to 5% in XRP, but it's just personal use. So yeah, we transfer that over to business. That's substantial over the course of a year.
Oh
over
yeah,
the course
absolutely.
of even a quarter, or however if you pay your taxes quarterly or at the end of the year, either way, that's substantial because that's not the only benefit to the technology, to the opportunity. There's other benefits that are linked to the 5%, as he states there. Michael Otto, hey man, love seeing Michael Otto in the chat. Awesome individual. He says, I have eToro debit card. I pay all my bills on it and get 4% cash back, and a Coinbase card and get 5% back in XLM, XRP's little brother in a sense. I like XLM, love the project. I would be happy to get 5% in XLM.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Beautiful.
Like that's even that you can still convert that even if you needed it in
Well, sure.
another currency or whatnot,
Right.
Say, like personally, like I'll admit, like I'm not invested in XLM. It might be something that I should probably look into in the future, but
It's stellar. Without getting into prices, I stated in my last video, you're looking at graphs and charts. Where does looking at graphs and charts lead to? Price predictions,
yeah.
right? So I try to stay away from that as much as possible because I am definitely not one to put out my opinion on price.
No,
I
I
think it's
agree
silly.
completely. And I ran into that. I think with the last stream that I did, I pulled up a chart, and the next thing I know, I'm starting to talk about pricing. Like, man, no. Like, no price
Yes,
predictions. I need to get away from this. Like, this is not
it's
my aim.
natural. It's a natural thing, which I respect. But to go out of my way to fool anybody into thinking that I have the answers, I'm not there yet. I will never be there. But anyways, I do think that historically, looking at XLM specific, it's a good time to enter. I would be confident personally to enter XLM at this price point if I didn't hold any. Easy to see. I mean, you pull the graphs up and it's not rocket science, right? But I mean, I think it's a substantial project in and of itself. It's got potential, just like any of them, being a utility token and handling potentially millions and millions of transactions, So, but not to get away from the XRPL, the core of what we all know and believe in. But Tyler says XLM and XRP are typically pretty correlated as far as macro movements go. Seems to me. Yeah, I would agree. I always call XLM XRP's little brother or cousin or whatever, but XRP being more on the, institutional money handling those types of transactions, and XLM, maybe you're using on a more retail type setting, just to be very elementary about it. But I agree with you, man. So look, just within the chat, we've got several individuals that are experiencing the benefits of this technology. That's where we're headed. I mean, in a nutshell, CODEWARD knows, Tyler knows, Michael Otto knows, I know. Proof is in the pudding. We're on our way to mass adoption. Speaking of mass adoption, I hope he's doing well. I hope he's accomplishing what he wants with the CasinoCoin team. And I know he's majorly into NFTs now, which is cool.
Yeah, I've been seeing that too. He's been picking
It's
up.
fun. So, hey, in closing, CODEWARD, what are your thoughts? Anything you want to say to the community? Anything about yourself, about your future with any further developments? Anything that we need to be excited about that you haven't exposed yet, or where do you stand in life right now with everything?
Yeah, like well, where I stand in life, I'm burning the candle at both ends.
I got you.
That being said, like I'm always looking to expand XRPL merch. So if there's other projects that can prove like they're not just going to be a rug pull and so forth, like I'm open to discussion for expanding different projects. But I do want to make sure that I don't want to basically be a cash grab. Like I'm not just trying to list products to get more projects out there. I want to be listing projects with a future that are going to be around, that are not just quick internet, make a buck,
Right.
So there's a little bit of a due diligence that I try to do. I have contacted a few projects and either didn't get a response back, or they in turn ended up setting up their own shop, which, good on them. Like I don't hold any, but I am always looking to expand both project wise and merch wise. If there's ideas that people want, I'm willing to expand there. Actually, a question for the community as well is, like, this is XRPL merch, so I do try to stay focused on the XRPL. That being said, like I've tinkered with the idea of like offering like Bitcoin or Ethereum, only for the sake that there is a issued trust line for them on the XRP ledger. And that's where the question will come for the community, is if that's something that they would want offered on XRPL merch, but that ends up crossing into a gray area because they're not technically XRPL based tokens, even though they are issued IOUs, you know what I mean? So
I think it's, in my opinion, take it or leave it, I think it's fair to offer that personally.
Yeah, I think if
everything
anything,
does kind of segue into each other, and one thing I do want to announce or be clear with to the audience and to whoever's listening in the future. As a child, I mean, I learned at a young age from my father. He was self-employed in the automobile business. It's okay to make money. It's okay to be successful, and money is a byproduct of something that you're passionate about. In this case, you're passionate about the communities of crypto and different projects. As long as the income is a byproduct of your efforts and your desire to treat people correctly and to value customer service and professionalism, I don't care if you make $1 million next year with this. You deserve that, as long as the focus is your customer base and your vision on your passion for what you've created this for, the intention, right? But the act of making money being a byproduct of all of that is 100% acceptable. And I would respect you less if you didn't make money intentionally. I want you to be successful and to make money. Like, truly, I think anybody that supports xrplmerch.com, when I support boonrings.com or ArcPlate or any other companies or individuals that I support personally, I want them to make money.
Oh, I completely agree.
So I want that to be clear to not only business owners and people like yourself or the audience. I think we're all invested in your product, but also we're invested in you, and we want you to succeed, because if you succeed, you're going to offer more options for us and you're going to keep the site up. If it was a break-even proposition, XRPL merch might not be around in a couple of years. Really.
That makes sense.
So that's
that
where
makes
I'm
sense.
at with it. If you succeed, the community has great options to buy their apparel, their items to support their projects. And as a whole, everything moves upward and onward. And within the crypto space, within individual projects, for yourself, for the community, for our investments, it's a win-win-win all around. And I just want to be clear that that's just my take on offering a service or a product. You know,
I agree. And actually, like a couple times here, you've mentioned dark play, and that's actually one thing I forgot to mention when, sorry, what was it there? David asked about the cold storage, was ArcPlay, because ArcPlay is, in my opinion, probably one of the ultimate cold storage solutions, because you can record your keys on a steel plate and go and bury it or whatever the case. And, or, put it somewhere safe. You can even turn around and have your keys split across two different plates and have them stored in separate areas to keep them even more secure. But it all comes down to, like, a ledger device can be hacked. We've seen a video recently, even with a Trezor. Sorry, Buddy hacked a Trezor by basically surging the chipset. Not sure if you've seen that, but Buddy lost his password for the Trezor device. And there's a whole YouTube video where he went to this basically an ethical hacker. Buddy cracked open the Trezor device, connected the ports, and basically started pulsing the chipset, and was able to crack in and get the keys out.
Come on. And you know what? That's a good point, because ArcPlay crossed my mind when we were on that topic, of course.
Yeah.
But I think his question was more towards why we didn't bring it up. I think both of us is because he was more talking about a software type ledger safeguard as opposed to a tangible physical item. Now, the ArcPlay product is the end all be all to protection. It just is. If you want the matter of fact solution to safeguard your holdings, you need to check out arcplate.com. That is first and foremost your first step in security.
Even if you turn around and got a hold of the physical ArcPlate, it's just basically a number. If you don't know the mapping for it, whether it's a BIP39 or whatever the case, if you don't know the mapping for that number, it's useless to you.
Well, and so what's interesting about his product and why it's the most realistic and reasonable step to take, actually, but everybody wants to go from an exchange to a cold wallet to a ledger of sorts. You think that you've crossed the finish line doing that. Yes, it might be your best option as far as technology goes, or software or applications, but it is certainly not the end all be all to safeguarding your holdings. Arcplate.com does offer that solution. If you want to cross the finish line at the 100 percentile, David Cohen has an excellent product with arcplate.com. Is that needless to say almost, right?
Yeah, no, I would agree, because it's air gapped. There is no technological connection to the internet or anything like that. There's no way connected to the internet, short of converting those numbers to your keys and then inputting those keys into a device.
And you know what? I want to have him on here. We talked towards the end of 2021. We were going to put together a live stream before the new year. Both of us were busy. The market was in shambles. He's got a lot of awesome things going on right now. I don't want to spill the beans, but he gave me some insight on what he's up to, not only with ArcPlate, but other ventures he's involved in. Very exciting. We're going to have him on. Hopefully you're on with us, CODEWARD. We'll shoot the breeze, see what David Cohen's up to. And
Absolutely.
An awesome individual, as you know, a genuine guy. How refreshing is this to just be surrounded by quality people that are like-minded, that have the mindset and the vision that is, I think it's a unique situation. I've never been in a community or a group of people like this that are so focused on the future. And it's good to have a vision. It's healthy for your mind. It's healthy for advancements in technology and being streamlined and up to date with, we don't want to become obsolete as individuals. The fact that we're on the cutting edge of all of this and understanding how blockchain technology works and cryptocurrencies and digital currency and safeguarding our investments and all the rest of it, right? We could go down a list a mile long, but we're here. We're talking the talk. We're learning. We're enjoying ourselves. And he's another great example of somebody that is on our team, call it. So let's get into that soon. Try to, shoot for sometime next month. We'll get everybody together. CODEWARD, thank you. You became a very respected and, in my opinion, legendary individual in the XRPL community, more specific to CasinoCoin, helping people out with the swap. You helped me out personally. You've been very involved, and I know the community respects your efforts and your service. And here's another example of xrplmerch.com. Love the product. You can find Gambling Savant apparel on there. We will add to that list in the near future. See who likes it. And you've got tons of options, all the XRPL issued tokens. And thank you for coming on here, taking your time on this weekend to share with us all your developments in life and in crypto, and so much valuable knowledge that we really valuable is an understatement. It's of the utmost of importance for us to have a true understanding of what we're working with here with the XRPL and this technology. And it all adds up to this final painting that gives us full clarity on what we're invested in.
Yeah, not a problem. Always a pleasure to be on. Like, thanks for having me. And it wasn't like my coming on wasn't a whole spiel of, buy XRPL merch. It it's there as a service, it's, I just,
Absolutely. And that's what I wanted to be clear on too, because I know how you are. I've talked with you about this particular project at length. I know personally, and we're going to let everybody know delicately. Yeah, this is CODEWARD's not out to fleece the XRPL community and make all kinds of money off the site. Is, like I said before, will it be a byproduct of his effort and his desire to offer this apparel and this product? Yes, and it should be. So there's a delicate balance there. He's on the side of customer service and morals and intention and exposure for the community. This is a service offered for the community. And I know that's genuine. You all know that too. So check out his site. You're always a pleasure to have on. You bring a lot to the table. Easy to converse with, easy to understand, invaluable information, truly. Things that myself, I study lots of different areas of crypto, and I learn something new from you every time we talk. And that's a matter of fact. So it's awesome. I hope everybody enjoyed the stream. There's gonna be more of these to come. And I wish everybody a fantastic day and weekend. Have fun if you're going to watch the Super Bowl. We do have the Super Bowl tomorrow. I'm betting LA Rams taking their -4. And I'm also taking a bet on the under at 48.5. If I break even, I'm a happy camper. So let's if I win one, lose one, I'm okay with that outcome. So I hope everybody enjoys the weekend. CODEWARD, excellent to talk with you. I hope that you have a great weekend, and I know everybody enjoyed the stream having you on. So
yeah, definitely. And
excellent.
You as well. Have a great weekend, and shout out to the rest of the community as well. I hope everybody else has a great weekend as well. Spend some time with your loved ones. Again, if you're watching a football game, enjoy. I'm got to go drive one of the Dodgers there to our friend's place now. But thank you everybody for joining out. Thank you for your support, and I appreciate each and every one of us.
Thanks again, everybody. Shout out Callie. Shout out Big Ted. Thank you everybody for participating. I could go through the whole chat. Looks like we had a nice turnout, man. Thanks for supporting the Gambling Savant channel. There's more to come. And as always, I wish you all a fantastic day. Signing off.